Hello everybody, welcome to another inspiration episode on Art Whisper 88. Today's inspiration is the Italian artist Giorgio Morandi, and I'm quoting from Wikipedia. Giorgio Morandi was born July 20, 1890, and he lived until June 18, 1964. He was a painter, printmaker, and he was widely known for his subtle, muted, still life paintings of ceramic vessels, flowers, and landscapes. They were quiet, meditative, and they reflected the artist's rejection of the tumult of modern life. So I came upon this idea after playing with my favorite shapes, which is the mushroom shape. Now realize that these mushroom shapes actually look like bottles. And one of the favorite subject matter of Giorgio Morandi were bottles of all kinds, all different shapes. So I had the idea of doing a homage to Morandi's bottles by doing a still life. It's a very time-honored subject matter for artists, and I thought I would do a 21st century interpretation of it. So let me cut my shapes out and I will be back in a few minutes. Okay, let me start drawing out my shapes. This is a fat Sharpie, just for the sake of clarity. I think the other Sharpie is too thin, so I can draw out these shapes. Now, this is cardstock. So now instead of calling them mushroom shapes, they are bottle shapes, like so. So I'm just going to keep cutting out these bottle shapes. And as I cut them, I can make slight variations. For example, this one, I can modify the lip. So it looks more like a bottle or a vase. Actually, this one will work as well. So you get the idea. I already have a collection of bottles here. So I'm just going to keep going, and I will make variations. Like so. Okay, so now I have a collection of bottles. And I can arrange these on the Gelli plate and start rolling. I'm going to start with the tallest bottle, and I'm going to assign an arbitrary horizon line . Okay, what I want to do is create some separation. I'm not going to do this yet. I'm going to use this as my first layer and start rolling. So now the question is, what sort of background do I want? Okay, I decided I want to use green oxide for the, let's call it a tabletop, and then raw sienna for the background on the top. So I'm just going to very carefully pour some of that. And roll it out. Okay, I'm going to place the green oxide. Well, let me give this a shake first, because the acrylic has a lot of extenders and they tend to separate. So I'm going to switch brayers this time. Now the horizon line is going to be a little bit blurry. Instead of having it very sharp, it's going to be blended. Now I cannot resist putting some scribble marks, just because. And I had to buy myself a new pair of tweezers because I couldn't find them. So I found some at the 99-cent store. Okay, now I have a little bit of a spill here, so I'm just going to clean that up. So I'm going to let this dry a little bit. Okay, here's my pickup color. This is Lucas Sand. It's like a beige. So I want to keep the colors muted at this point. Let me just turn this fan off. Now I have a lot of acrylic paint sitting on a shelf. They've been sitting there for a while. So before I use it, I always check if there's any dried stuff that's mixed in. Because it does happen, even if the bottle cap is closed, the paint tends to coagulate over time. Okay. Again, I'm using Richeson watercolor paper, 88-pound cold press, and put that description in the box below in case you want to try it. But you can use any paper you want, but I recommend for jelly printing you need to use something a little heavier than copy paper. I have experimented with sketch pad paper, which is a little thicker, and it does okay. But for a fine art print, it's best to use good paper. And I buy these in bulk. Okay. Okay, let's see how we made out here. It's been about 5 minutes. I think the transfer is pretty good. The reason why I like acrylic is it creates very nice transfers. All right. That's a nice start. So the next step, now to help me compose this picture, I have these cutouts, and I can create another stencil to create another layer of bottles. So think of it as a kitchen table, and then the taller bottles are in the back, and then the shorter, more squat ones are in the front. And these will be a good guide so I can play with them and rearrange them. I mean, this is the way I compose a picture, like a picture puzzle where I can shuffle things around. And then when I find an arrangement that I like, I can work on it. So let this dry, and I will be back in a few minutes. just roughly. And then I will cut these shapes out with my razor blade. Okay, that's a second layer. And just as a visual aid, I want to decide where the second layer of bottles will sit. I guess they'll be like so. This time I have to resort to some kind of measurement. This is like 4.5 inches from the bottom. So I'm going to measure 4.5 inches. And these will live here. Like that. Okay. So now the second layer of bottles, I want them to be like a light blue. So this is Amsterdam Sky Blue Light. And then I want them to blend to a deeper color. Let me just scoop this out. There. I'm going to use a baby roller. Roll this out. So I'm deliberately not making it even. So I do want to see the variations created by the brayer. Okay. There we go. here is the first pull. And this is where accurate registration comes into play. But even if it's a little off, it's all right. I always approach these projects as experiments. Okay, I'm just going to apply the pressure on the 4.5-inch area. There's no need to press up there. Okay, let's see what we got here. So far, so good. Now I can work on the third layer of bottles, but I have to let this dry first. Okay, for the last layer, I am mixing some titanium white on the top and some cadmium orange deep on the bottom, and just mixing that. And I'm deliberately doing brush marks. Okay. And the same with this. I'm going to switch brushes because I want this to stay pink. Okay. Let me just clean this up. Okay, let's see how we made out here. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. Oh, that orange really livens it up. There we go. There. My homage to Giorgio Morandi, and I want to keep it as simple and as calm as he would have wanted. So let me air dry this, and then I will recap, give you some really close-ups. Okay, here's my favorite part of this video where I get to show you the final print. And I'm pretty happy with it. I've never done a figurative still life before, but since the shapes that I'm working with are so similar, I thought to myself, you know, why not just to expand my horizons? So let me show you a close-up. So the Bristol card or Bristol plate creates a very nice sharp edge, and combined with the texture of the acrylic and the brayer, you have this interplay of texture and shapes. It's a very painterly result. And there you have it. That is my tribute to Italian painter, printmaker Giorgio Morandi and his bottles. So thank you so much for watching and subscribing. Please pay a visit to artwhisperer88.com, which is my storefront, and any sales or donations will help to keep this channel going. So thank you so much again, and I hope to see you next time.